In, yeah, now we're on. Lori, what's up?
Hey, happy Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. So I'm doing this mountain bike race in a couple weeks, July 13th, with Brian, actually, who I hope joins in here because we got to talk about this. But I'm doing this mountain bike race. It's gonna be every bit of 4.5, 5 hours.
Right.
I'm trying to get some volume in, and man, I'm just a mess. This is I'm gonna miss everyone. I got on my bike this morning. I took my wife is actually sitting right here. I took her car to Burlington, which is 50 miles away, to drop it off, and I thought, ooh, good opportunity to get some volume in. And I
Right.
got on with 2 bottles of water and nothing else. And I had picked an off-road route home. I'm like, surely it goes past a store. Not one store. I had to
Oh, no
abandon the
way.
route, go back and find. So yeah, total bonk and misuse of time and energy, just distracted. So it happens still this day and age.
Yeah. Oh, I spent a good portion of Saturday's ride in a gas station.
Yeah, sweet.
It was over 100 degrees here, and I'm like, I need heat acclimatization. I was supposed to do a 5 hour ride, and I led a gravel ride with a bunch of women in the morning, and then I was heading out, had to do some intervals. Heat of the day, I decided to do them on a climb, like a 15-minute climb down, 15-minute climb down, did the repeats. I literally like sat on the floor in the gas station. I was like, just give me ice. Ice in
No.
the bladder, ice in the bottles. It was like, okay, this is great.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Oh man.
welcome to summer.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's not as bad. At least the whole time, the whole first hour, at least I knew, okay, you have to find food, you idiot. You have to find
Yeah.
food. And
So you took nothing.
I had nothing. I planned on stopping at a store, and I thought, okay, I'll just get started and I'll stop within the first hour. But it took me on
Yeah.
paths and trails and
Right.
just from like the biggest city in the state of Vermont. It
Right.
avoided all the stores. So
Oh.
yeah, rookie move. It's not as bad as when I really was a rookie and I had to take a nap
Yeah.
at in Brooklyn underneath a picnic table.
And at
But
least it was only 50 miles and not 100 miles, right?
yes, exactly. So it was kind of a thing. But yeah, so I hope I hope Brian joins in. I'll tell him about that. But I know he's kind of busy and but yeah, I mean this is it. Week 8, the challenge is winding down, huh?
Ah, it is. And it's been awesome. This has been just a phenomenal experience, I think, for everybody. And I'm really excited that we're going to wind it up. And should we jump into the workouts?
Let's jump into the workouts. Yeah, because I want to get through mine and yeah, for sure. You go first though. Give me the Peloton rundown.
I
What are we doing?
will. Well, same rhythm we've been in. We've got a rest day on Monday. Tuesday, we're going to climb one more time. This time with Hannah Frankson. We've got a little shorter climb, so 45 minutes. Wednesday is another rest day, or you can ride with Dennis. We got a 45-minute PZE. Um, Thursday, we're with Christine, so we've got a 30-minute PZE. So again, we're bringing some intensity down. We want you to go into our weekend events feeling fresh, not completely rested and not completely fatigued. We're going to be in that state, that perfect state, hopefully. Friday, we're just going to do some openers. So we've got Sam. We'll do the FTP warm up again. That'll be our openers for Friday or for Saturday. And then on Saturday, we'll do what we did in week 1. We'll have 4 group rides. You can join in and climb. We'll do Palomar 1 again. Um, if you want to compare to your last effort doing this, I would say narrow down the leaderboard just to you and you can see where you are. And that way, if you're shooting to see some progress, you can do that. I would say don't use auto resistance for this because you're not going to, it's going to put your rate kind of in the middle. And yeah. And then on Sunday, we'll just do a nice celebratory, basically a recovery ride, a nice, easy 60-minute PZE. You can go as easy as you want. And if you don't want to ride in one of the group rides, you can ride whenever you want. I will put the events in Facebook. You could also go out and do your benchmark climb again. So if you did it outside or if you did it on Zwift, we want to compare our progress from week 1 to now. And you will continue to see progress from this. That's the challenge with doing our benchmark right here at the end of our program is you may not fully be recovered at this point. As you continue to recover and we start to work on some other training aspects, you're going to see that you've made some improvement in your climbing later down the road too. So it should be fun. It should be exciting. I'll be on a couple of the rides, not the super early ones because this California girl does not ride at 3 in the morning. But I'll be there for the two later ones in the day and hopefully get to ride with a bunch of folks. So more details on the Facebook group next week for that.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so you'll set up the group rides like last time. I
We
think people are
will.
loving that. That's awesome.
We will. And it's going to look like an easy week. And I would say don't go overboard with your other training, right? So our cycling training will be for the 3 ride option, 2 hours and 15 minutes, and then 4 hours for the 5 ride. TSS is down significantly, right? 138, 237. We should go in feeling pretty fresh and ready to go.
Smooth landing, right? Smooth landing.
Hopefully,
Not
that's
a
what we
rough,
want.
not a rough landing, but hopefully some record break. I saw some people looking at PRs, and you were talking about overload and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, this time of year is always tricky. It's like we've gained a lot of fitness, and you want to hang on to it, but it's kind of time to start letting it go a little bit and
Yeah.
let it dip. Let the springboard dip, and it'll spring you back up again. So that's kind of a hard concept, but let me
Yeah.
see if I can get my program up here. So if you're following the timers, here is where we are right now. Today you're doing Tempo Plus. This was a fairly easy, a pullback week. You've got this, one of my favorites, this crisscross, kind of a kitchen sink type of a workout with a little bit of everything, just to mix things up on Saturday, and then an endurance ride on Sunday. And then getting into next week, it continues the easy, I won't say easy, but less intense. So Tempo Plus, which is really endurance and endurance. So let's go through this. This is 10 minutes at 87% on Tuesday, followed by 1 minute at VO2 or low VO2, 105% of FTP, and then a 5-minute recovery at 70% or proper zone 2, and then repeat that sequence. That's the 45-minute main set. Wednesday is just spin the legs. I like that 75%, but if you feel like you're could go a little lighter, Wednesdays and Sundays are for going easier, 70%, 65%, or better yet, as I've been recommending lately, just turn the power meter off and go by feel. Look at the power meter afterwards. Then getting ready for the hill climb interval repeat from the beginning. So I like this pre-race workout with 1 minute openers at 105 to 115%. Go by feel if you want to. Pretend like you're at a sustainable race pace for 1 minute, so not overdoing it. It's not an all-out sprint for 1 minute, but it is a VO2 interval, proper VO2 interval, followed by 9 minutes of endurance or 70 to 80%.
Why, hello.
And we're going to repeat that 4 times. Should get you ready for Saturday. So take Friday off. I like to actually put this ride on Friday. I like to do it, take 2 days off. But I know we have it scheduled there. Start making some decisions. Start seeing what works, what doesn't, what's going to bring your best performance. So Saturday here, I do have, this is just a repeat from the very first Saturday of this program. I think I upped the intensity to 89%. I think the first one said 87%, but basically you're doing a 30-minute interval. It's supposed to be going up a hill. If you can go back and get to the same hill that you did, that's what I was intending. And I would suggest also turn off the power meter and just go. Or if you have your power meter on, don't stick to 89% because you might be limiting yourself. You're trying to break a record. This is an interval. You're trying to make the bike go fast. Maybe you get more aerodynamic. Maybe you've lost some weight. Maybe you bought some watts by upgrading your bike a little bit. Maybe whatever you've done, you're trying to get a little further, a little faster. And fitness is number one way to get faster, but maybe you've done some other things as well. So that's the gist of it. And then Sunday here, where are we on Sunday, follows up with just a 1 hour with a bunch of zone 2 or 75%. And as I've said before, do this ride and capture your heart rate. Hopefully, if you've been training with me for a year and a half, you've done this ride before and you've got a 40-minute, 75%. Compare your heart rate to the same power output. Your heart rate should be nice and low. Your heart rate, I don't know, just compare it. It could be different. Heart rate could be higher. Maybe you're fatigued. Maybe you are burnt out from the day before. Just see where it is and do that on a continuing basis, once a month, once every 6 weeks or so. If you follow these rides exactly as they're written, TSS is 275. I know you're laughing because I just gave a ton of different ways to ride them.
No, I'm laughing because you have a guest and you haven't even noticed he's here.
Oh, I'm looking at my screen.
Greg, what's up, man? How are you? You're just hammering away, dude. I love this.
I'm working here, buddy. What are you doing?
I love this, man.
I'm trying to coach the community.
I feel like I'm in study hall. Man, this is great.
Matt, 275, head down. Last week was a 246, so it is quite a bit harder. And that's it. That wraps this up. Let me get back on let me stop sharing this.
That's awesome.
Who we got
There
here.
he is.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's
There's
up?
like a narrow little screen here. I'm seeing myself in Riverside. This is hilarious.
Yeah, you're in my studio. Welcome. I've been trying to get you to come to my house for 3 years now, and now you're in my studio. That's the next best thing.
I know. I have a hard time getting out of my own house. So, but let alone going to someone else's house. But how are you, man?
Man, thanks for dropping in. I was telling Lori, I'm all distracted today. I bonked on a ride. I wasn't carrying food. I'm just, this is tough for me. This is tough. This team has been so much. It's been so much fun. So, thanks for joining.
Man. Just wanted to wish you all the best and say thank you and chime in and it's been a lot of fun. And I know this isn't the end of us hanging or working together or whatever, but at the same time, like I love you. And it's been a lot of fun, and you just gave me a wicked flashback to 1 year. I met Greg. I joined my first cycling team. It was called Z Team, and then we were riding, and then I'll never forget. Some people might think this is offensive, but it is what it is. I went from working at KPMG to working at Goldman Sachs, and the whole team made fun of me. They said I was going to get banker butt. Like, I don't even know what that, basically what that, but basically I was going to get, you say I'm going to get out of shape. Anyways, after my first season there, I went on a ride with Greg, and I'll never forget because we were coming back from Nyack or Piermont, and I bonked so hard. Like I could barely move the pedals on the way back. And of course, Greg's all chippery and cheery. He's just like, you can do it. Come on. Oh, there's Brian. What's up, Brian? So
what's going on, everybody?
Anyway, Brian's going to have flashbacks too. I'm glad he's talking to me. Everybody
We're talking about bonking.
Oh man, I've had some wicked bonks in my life, but that was that ride. But I was thinking back to when when I first came to you about, actually when I first got coached by Greg, my first practice with Greg, this is describes what Greg is like as a coach. He expects the best out of everybody. And I love that about you. You expect the best out of everyone, and you make everyone feel like on top of the world. And it's great. And I'll never forget the first, I'm out there riding with Greg, and it's just full of excitement. And his excitement exceeded my skills on the bike. I thought a road bike. I didn't realize that. I grew up mountain biking, right? And here Greg was coaching this this ragtag group of wild mountain bikers that road bike for fitness. And I had just got my road bike, and I had no idea that you had to pump your bike tires so much. In mountain biking, you don't do that. You don't have to pump them every time. So I'm dying in these practices, and Greg's like, "Man, your tires are flat." So I'm out there riding around in flat tires. Greg's heard these stories 1,000 times.
I've kind of continued that one. That is one of my favorite things. It's Matt showed up with his helmet on backwards and his tires were flat. I had no idea what I was going to do with this guy.
The first practice, my tires were inflated, but then they deflated because I didn't realize you had to do that. And then the other thing was that one of the first practices, Greg's like, we're gonna work on skills. I'm like, skills? You just ride a bike. What are you talking about? Anyway, he reaches over and grabs my handlebars. He goes, yeah, crazy things happen. Like someone might hit your handlebar. And I'm like, ah! Like someone's grabbing my handlebar. Like I literally almost flew off. This was right in front of Engineers Gate in Manhattan. I literally almost flew off the road into a bush. But I somehow saved it. And I'll never forget that. Like Greg, it was hysterical. But I knew I'd found the right coach at that point. So
Robin Drayson, right, Brian? Grab his handlebars. Try and toss him off the bike.
There's no paralysis by analysis with Greg. It's do it, experience it, feel it, and then you're gonna learn so much faster that way. And like my learning curve with you, Greg, was unbelievable. And I owe all my road cycling time and fun and racing to you, because you're the one that taught me in the beginning. And I used to be Greg's lead out, everybody. When we raced together, I'd be Greg's little lead out, and it was a lot of fun. So I miss those times. But then when it came to Team Wilpers, I remember that we met in a diner. And, I told him about the idea of Team Wilpers, and he's like, yeah, okay. And we slowly got into it. And he's like, wait, Peloton? What? I want to write, like coaches want to write their own content. They don't want to write, they don't want to they don't want to see my workouts or whatever I've written, but it's such an open mind. You just dived right in, and I really appreciate that. Anytime you're doing anything new, you want someone to work with that's going to be positive, excited, sees the good in what you're trying to do, rolls with the punches. And that was Greg, man. That was our time, and like we've had ups and downs and bumps, but we had a good time along the way, man.
We had to figure some things out, didn't we? Huh? It's like, all right, how do we deliver workouts to people riding a Peloton when a Peloton is in fact created to deliver the workouts on the screen? So yeah, it was a little figuring out, but I think a lot of people took to it, and that's part of what I want to say is like, oh man, look what we've done. Yeah, look at bringing all of these people. A number of folks have been to my house. I've run camps. Brian came here. Matt, you've been not here to Vermont, but you've been to my house. Like
I've been to your other camps.
Yeah, you guys are family. This is people who come in to my cycling world, I guess. But it's my family. So yeah, it's not over. We'll figure a way out, to work together. And if y'all have me, I'll come back on the briefings and poke around and make sure everybody's behaving. Grab the handlebars.
No, I don't. The camp I went to, you had barbecue at the end, and I was sold, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
that was good.
And you came out to Arizona with me once. Remember?
That's right. We did that camp in Arizona. That was a blast. We did the shootout. I've got
a bunch of pictures. I'm trying to figure out how to share them, but I can only share like screens for some reason. So let me see if I can get something.
Yeah, my that was a lot of fun. I'll never forget the camp we did in not Vermont, up in the Catskills.
Yeah.
And we're about to ride like 80 to 100 miles, and a guy shows up in a fixed gear bike, no nutrition, and jean shorts.
Yes.
And that was Greg. That was actually Greg.
That was Greg.
Yeah.
I swear I've seen him. Seen him again, like at a Vermont race. I swear.
That was.
And did he drop all you guys?
No. He got lost and ended up like, well, he didn't get. I think he got lost and ended up in downtown New Paltz. So.
Yeah. Jean shorts and that's it. I'm out.
Yeah. So, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be tough. But he hung in there for a long time though. So I was like, geez, all right.
So yeah, I was just saying, that's one of my funnest things to do is just to bring people in and treat them like family. And this team has been no exception. The big community, the team of coaches, and it's just been amazing. So it's definitely not goodbye, but I have a few takeaways if y'all are ready.
Man, hit me.
It's just that we're all a bunch of individuals. Like I did this 3.5-hour ride today alone, right? But I know I wasn't alone. I know I've got all you with me. And I hope you all feel the same way. You, the team, feel the same way. The team of coaches. I hope we all feel the same way. It's amazing. We all have our own training needs and our own goals. But it's amazing how much we can accomplish those individual goals together working as a team. And that's been absolutely nailed down by this. This team has kept me going up here in Vermont, training by myself. Brian, I know you're close by, but like still riding by myself, I can't get through that stuff.
It's because I don't like riding with you. You're like, let's go do 100 miles through the woods on gravel bikes. I'm like, Greg, I should have brought my mountain bike. Like, what are we doing?
Like, I forgot to grab your handlebar trick too. That would have been in there.
No, that's not true. That's not true. We get to an intersection.
That's true.
We both have our directions on our computer. And to Greg's defense, we were kind of heading left, but I knew we had to make a right-hand turn, which the Garmin was telling us and the Wahoo was telling us to make a right-hand turn. So I'm looking left. Greg's on my right. I start turning right. Greg starts turning left.
Been there.
Bang! Bang! I mean, I was like, what just happened? And we were both still on our bikes. We didn't fall over. And I looked at Greg as we started riding the correct direction. And I was like, thank God you know what you're doing. Because that would have been two guys lying on the ground with broken collarbones in the middle of Vermont. So, yeah, no, he's always banging people around.
Well, that happened twice. That was kind of a double ride.
Twice.
You know, that actually did happen twice in one ride between Brian and I. We're like a bunch of clowns running into each other.
Yes.
So
literally leaving Greg's driveway, I almost ran into Greg. So to defense, it did happen twice. Each was our fault.
Just testing. I gotta know who I'm riding with. I gotta know.
You passed, Brian.
Yeah. I still have a headache.
Having exposure to so many athletes, guys, this is not lost on me. Like not many coaches will have this experience, having this much experience. And this, talk about a learning curve. Matt, you put me in front of thousands of people in a coach setting. Like, how awesome. Talk about going to school as a coach. It's been amazing. So I'll never forget the past year and a half working with this team and growing it and just figuring out how to deliver a program to this many people. It's been amazing. And so I've learned so much. And then also this doesn't happen either as an athlete or as a coach without support. I've talked, you'll hear me preach all the time, get support from your family. You know, it's a lot nicer to hear, hey, how was your ride? Instead of, what time are you coming home again? And so my wife, who was sitting here, she had to get up and get the dog, but maybe she'll pop her head in here again. Thank you to my wife, Kristen, has just been amazing support. I know, sorry, I'm not always there, and for sharing me with the team and everybody. So, yeah.
Thank you guys for keeping him busy. I actually was thinking today, I was like, you know what? I should do one of these challenges. Finally, after how long? We'll let you get me on a bike.
You can't coach your wife. Don't coach your spouse. Do not do it. Do not do it. Well, thank you very much for the support and for letting me do what I do. It's a treat to get to do what I love for work. I think I heard just last night, like, how much do the bikes cost again? But they make me money, so it's okay, right?
How many bikes do you have, Greg? How many are you allowed to have, by the way?
Yeah.
I wish I could.
That is a very personal question.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just curious from a guy living in a small apartment in New York City.
The answer is always one less than I need.
No, N plus one.
She knows N plus one.
I need a hardtail mountain bike badly. I gave it up to get the gravel bike, and now I miss it.
Gravel bike's the same as a hardtail.
Kind of.
Yeah, when you're riding with Greg, it is.
Kind of, yeah. That's right. Brian will attest. You're right. There are some places where gravel bikes should not go, right?
Yeah. Callan had a great answer on the chat. He said 1 bike per handbag. So did you know that purses cost like $10,000?
What?
I have
Do
a
they have
pencil
power-
case.
Do they come with a
But-
power meter?
I know. I'm
That
like,
was one of
I'm
my
not a
first
handbag
lessons getting married. That was one of my first
Right?
lessons. Like a purse costs how much? What?
What do you have left to
Like
put
a
in the
bike,
purse?
bike
That's
costs how
with
much?
a power meter, right? It comes with a
Yeah.
power meter. The
Yeah,
purse.
exactly.
yeah.
Carbon fiber, right? So sounds good. Well, yeah.
What fun. Matt and I will definitely stay in touch, and Lori and Brian, of course, we'll stay in
Oh,
touch. You
yeah.
guys aren't getting rid of me that easy, and I would love to figure out a way to be involved in the near future, different capacities, something. We'll just figure it out, put our heads together, and see what we can do.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Any other stories, y'all? Come on, keep them coming. I'm trying to pull up a picture. I still can't figure out.
I could just.
I'll post a few pictures of from back in the day, Matt.
Oh man, I could just keep going, man. I could just keep going. It's crazy. One of my, it was a while since Greg and I had ridden together, and then I go up to your house outside the city, and we go screaming on this ride, and we're screaming down this hill, and he forgets to tell me that there's a stop sign at the bottom of the hill, and like literally like a stop sign in an intersection at the bottom of the hill. So we're flying, and we overcooked this stop sign, and I'm just like, how the heck we made it? Like, I don't know, made it out alive. Remember that?
I do, yeah. I almost killed Matt. Sorry, everybody.
That was all right. The pool made up for it, but
That's right. We jumped in the pool afterwards. Remember my friend Dan, who was the mountain biker that was on Z Team. He was a personal trainer with me. He used to call
200-pound Dan.
200-pound Dan
Oh.
called me Greg No Heads Up Wagoner. Yeah, so I've worked on it, but so believe it or not, I am better. So come ride with me. The folks that come to that have been up here, I don't think. Well, there was a little accident where 2 people tried to smack 5, but I wasn't involved. I swear I was not involved. I came up over a hill because my GoPro fell off my bike. And I had to stop and get it. And I came up over a hill, and 2 of my athletes are on the ground. I'm like, oh no, what's happening? But luckily they were laughing. So just all kinds of good. Luckily, knock on wood, no real bad accidents. And
I got 2 more stories for you. My first practice with Greg. I'm like, who is this guy? Like I was told to show up at this practice, so I show up at this practice. This guy comes up. He's like, I don't know like what is our age difference, but he comes up, he's like, he looks younger than I am, and he's got a coffee, he's got 1 water bottle, and then he's got a coffee in his other water bottle holder. And in running, like you just don't show up to practice with a coffee. Like you should, like that is your gut is going to be gone. And he shows up, he's got a coffee he just got from a cart somewhere. in one
my routine.
holder. What's that?
That was my routine. I used to ride down and get a coffee.
Greg, for a second, tell everyone what your routine was. There you go.
Look at that guy. He's on the wall.
What was your routine in the morning in Manhattan?
Yeah.
To coach in Central Park. Y'all, this is crazy.
So I would wake up. The alarm went off at 4:10, and I would put some peanut butter on a slice of bread and eat it as I'm walking out the door to get in the elevator to come down out of my apartment building in Upper Manhattan, Washington Heights. And I would ride a half hour to get to our practice that started at 5:15 or 5:20. We met down, not at the top of the park, but down at Tavern on the Green. I remember that coffee guy. Yeah, he was there every morning. And so, half hour to get to practice. Then we'd train for a good hour and a half, whatever the workouts were. It was funny. I wanted to bring up a couple of workouts. Remember the intervals we would do? We used to beat the crap out of each other.
Dude, we almost took out so many people in Central Park. It was astonishing. I'm surprised I'm still alive, but Anyways,
But the intervals, I was just reflecting today, like how they were different. If it was 3-minute intervals or 5-minute intervals,
yeah,
that's just it. It was 5-minute intervals. And what does that mean? It means put your head down and race for 5 minutes. No drafting. Go full. And me, you, and our other friend Rob Rakowitz, Raka, we used to
yeah.
just bury
Dude,
it.
remember our FTP tests?
FTP test was the full on. It was the full. It was the full power profile, wasn't it?
Yes. So you would start at Tavern on the Green and you would hammer for 20 minutes and see how far you got.
Right.
And so, and that's what it was, and that's how you knew like what
rock or what tree or what
Yeah.
fire hydrant did you get to? Right? Because
I think I got to Tavern.
meters. Yeah, we didn't have power meters. It's 20 minutes. See how far you
Yeah.
can go.
Yeah. And then oh man, that was crazy. And then y'all, this team we're on, this team that Greg coached, it was a lot of like there's like road cycling teams, and then this team had a lot of mountain bikers on it that did road cycling to stay fit for mountain biking. And one of the things I strongly believe is that mountain biking teaches you how to ride a bike really, really well in a safer environment. I strongly believe. And so the skills that our team had were incredible. The skills that these guys had on our team, even 200-pound Dan, this guy was like,
Especially
built like an
200-pound
ox.
Dan. He could,
This guy was all muscle, all muscle. He just blocked everyone out for you. But anyways, I remember a crash happened right in front of me, and I think it was 200-pound Dan. He literally bunny hopped the curb, flew off in the grass, and then bunny hopped back into the race. And he had that skill, and that skill would not have existed without mountain biking. I guarantee it. And I'll never forget that.
Second nature. I couldn't understand what's the big deal. Of course, that's what you do. But yeah, apparently that's a big deal.
In my head, I was like, no way anyone else would have made that unless they knew how to like mountain biking, because it just teaches all these skills.
Yeah.
But yeah, that team was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah. And the SIDS team. And so, yeah, we used to the intervals we didn't have power meters. But then as we started getting power meters, I remember some people used to ask, well, we're doing 5-minute intervals or 1-minute intervals. How hard should I go? But the answer is still as hard as you can. Why would you hold back? I'm not going to hold back and let Matt win. I'm going.
So Greg used to have this thing, like we would do intervals in pairs, right? And so you put Bobby one day on my back wheel.
Right.
And we were doing, I think it was like 2, 3, 4-minute intervals, something like that. And we were just hammer. And the person in the back is drafting, and their job is to yell for the people in front of you to get the heck out of the way or whatever is going on, clear traffic for you, but also like keep track of time. So Bobby's like keeping up with me. He's like, like telling people to get out of the way. And then like, bike racing teaches you to have, like, I'll tell that story in a second, but teaches you to have less fear. Teaches you to turn the blinders on. And at one point I dropped my guy, I dropped Bobby, and he was so pissed at me for like, I think it almost ruined our friendship, like for like a month. He was just like, you took too many risks. You're crazy. And so, anyways, I like it. That's when I realized, I was like, man, maybe we should tone it down a notch.
It did take a certain mentality. We did weed out some on that, but Bobby kept coming back. He kept coming, and he kind of was a governor on the team.
Yeah, that was wild. That was wild. And then remember at one point, Mark Consuelos was on our team.
Remember that? My story about Mark is that, yeah, he joined our team and he was there for a couple weeks or something. And he told me, he's like, hey, Greg, I got to go to California. I'm going to miss practice next week. I'm like, oh, cool. Are you going for work or on vacation? He's like, yeah, I'm going for work. I'm like, oh, cool. What do you do? He's like, I'm an actor and I own a production studio. I'm like, oh, so good luck with that or something like that. I had no idea who he was. But he got into racing and everything. He dug it, man. I think they shaved his legs on TV even or something. I don't know. His wife threatened to do it before his first race. Oh, that was all good times. And then
Oh,
even all of this stuff, you know?
I got a better story, man. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Here's a good one. This gives you an idea, Greg. I was just over there this last weekend, and I was like going down memory lane and just thinking, what a psycho that you can be sometimes. So there's this road. It's like Henry Hudson Park, whatever they're calling it, like River Road. It's along the Hudson River over the George Washington Bridge, and you go to the park there.
Yeah.
And so one of the first races Greg had me do was a time trial over there.
Oh, I remember.
And the time trial has a long downhill start, and then it just goes up. It's like this for the rest of the way. Then you turn around, you come back, right? But this downhill start is like you're gonna get up to like easily 40 miles an hour, like 35, 40 miles an hour. Greg goes out, gets some clip-on handlebars, like clip-on like aero bars, sticks them on the front of his bike, and goes full arrow down this sketchy road. It's got like bumps, like so everyone, like half the road just washed out, not too far. Like it changes every weekend. He goes bombing down this road with clip-on arrow bars and just like nothing. Like in the race, I'm just like, no, never do that.
I was told that's what you're supposed to. I was told that's more efficient. Yeah, I don't think I got the helmet, but yeah, I was looking for watts. We were just talking about buying watts. I'm sure I bought 5 watts with those clip-ons.
Dude, that was incredible. I was just like, oh, this is crazy. So
I just remember the egg sandwich after that race. I don't particularly remember the race, but we had a good meal afterwards.
Oh, yeah. So y'all, if you win a bike race, chances are you're not going to make a lot of money. And so what our rule was on our team was whoever won had to buy the rest of the team coffee after the race. Unfortunately, that would usually take up your entire winnings.
Yeah, yeah, and then some, and then some.
Yeah.
So those are.
And then you split the T-shirt into 8 pieces because, yeah.
Oh yeah, if there's a T-shirt, yeah, forget it. In Central Park, there's not much prize money in Central Park. There's just glory.
Here's your
I hear
$10.
there's all the money on East Coast Crit, so that's a thing.
Not in
There's money
Central
in
Park.
racing.
Nope.
Yeah,
Other ones,
no.
yeah. There's a turkey on
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. You could win a turkey.
Yeah.
I want a set of mountain bike tires in a road crit once. There you go.
That's pretty
Useful.
good.
It's like whatever the bike shop's trying to get rid of. 26-inch mountain bike tires. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. Usually
Yeah.
there's like a woodworker
Useful.
or something giving away
Yeah.
trophies that he made in his wood shop.
The best.
Those
prize
are
I got-
nice, though.
Yeah, I have them. They're around here.
What was it? The one up in Saratoga Springs. I won. Part of my winnings was a jug of milk.
Yeah. Ronnie Brook.
Jug of milk. Thank you.
Chocolate milk.
Like I got.
That's funny.
So, but I guess it was up in farmland, so it was like whatever. Okay.
Well, we have a crit out here in Napa called Cherry Pie, so we could take our pie, because you win a pie, and your milk, and we're good.
Oh man, that sounds awesome.
Yeah,
Got the
I
win.
know. It's good crit.
Sounds
It's
awesome.
got a little
but,
hill. Yeah.
I could keep going with stories forever on Greg, man. I got
Yeah.
But anyways, just want to thank you for everything, man.
Yeah.
It's my pleasure. And like I said, the learning curve is steep and has been amazing. And part of what I've learned is there's so much I don't know. So I'm really just trying to
Yeah.
keep going and learning and perfect my craft and the art and learn the science, but perfect the art of coaching. It's just amazing. So it's not goodbye forever, but definitely try and weasel my way back in somehow at some point.
Yeah.
Always welcome. Always welcome, dude.
So, you guys, thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. Lori, thank you for all of the briefings we've done together. And team, thank you so much. Like I said, family, and y'all know it. Reach out anytime. And can't wait for what's next. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Greg,
Cool.
thanks for all you've done.
Yeah,
Thanks, man.
awesome.
I agree,
all
man.
right.
Thank you so much, Greg.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. See you all soon.
Yes.
See ya.
Bye.
Aw.